Gravity is the invisible force that governs everything around us, from keeping our feet on the ground to holding entire galaxies together. It's so fundamental to our existence that we barely even think about it. But what if for just 5 seconds gravity suddenly stopped working? It sounds like a bizarre science fiction scenario, but the consequences would be nothing short of catastrophic. In this video, we're going to explore exactly what would happen if the force holding everything together simply disappeared. Even if only for a moment. Get ready for a journey through physics, chaos, and an earth-shattering event that would change our world forever. The moment gravity ceases to exist, everything that is not firmly attached to the Earth would immediately start floating. This includes people, cars, furniture, and even entire oceans. Buildings might stay in place due to their foundations being deeply embedded in the Earth, but anything on the surface, roads, bridges, and vehicles, would begin lifting off the ground. Imagine standing on the street and suddenly you're weightless, along with everything around you. In an instant, millions of people would be flung into the air, helplessly floating. Birds, animals, and even the water in your glass would defy all logic and begin drifting upwards. Skyscrapers would start to crumble as materials and infrastructure designed with gravity in mind are no longer supported. Airplanes would lose their ability to navigate effectively, and pilots would have no control over their flights. The oceans, which cover about 71% of Earth's surface, would be hit by a surreal phenomenon. Water would begin rising from the surface in massive, chaotic waves, creating an effect similar to an enormous reverse tsunami. Ships, boats, and marine life would be helplessly pulled upwards. Whales, sharks, and schools of fish would be flung into the sky, where they'd be left suspended. The sight of entire oceans lifting into the air would be breathtaking yet horrifying. Coastal cities would face unimaginable destruction, as the very thing that keeps water level and contained, the pull of gravity, would be momentarily absent. When gravity returns, all this displaced water would come crashing down in chaotic torrents, leading to widespread flooding, structural damage, and loss of life on an unprecedented scale. For people around the world, 5 seconds of weightlessness would feel like an eternity. Those outdoors would be sent floating into the air with no control over their movements. In space, astronauts are trained for zero gravity, but the average person has no such experience. People in cars, on bicycles, or even holding objects would lose all control as everything drifts around them. Some might manage to grab onto structures or fixtures, but the majority would be helplessly airborne. Those inside buildings may fare slightly better, but loose objects, cups, chairs, books, even kitchen knives, would become dangerous projectiles, floating unpredictably before crashing down when gravity is restored. The effects of a gravity shutdown wouldn't just be limited to the surface. The Earth's core, which relies on gravity to maintain its intense pressure and heat, would momentarily experience a disruption. The molten iron and nickel in the Earth's core might start expanding outward, triggering massive instability in the planet's internal structure. Seismic activity would go haywire as tectonic plates momentarily lose their downward force. The atmosphere itself would begin expanding outward, as it is normally held in place by gravity. Air molecules, dust, and even our very breath would start to dissipate. Without gravity to hold it together, the structural integrity of mountains, cliffs, and even ice sheets could be compromised, leading to landslides and collapses when gravity returns. Gravity is what keeps the Earth in orbit around the Sun. Without it, even for just 5 seconds, the planet would begin drifting in a straight line, rather than following its usual elliptical path. Although 5 seconds is not long enough for the Earth to completely leave its orbit, it could still cause minor deviations that may impact long-term planetary motion. Satellites, which rely on precise gravitational calculations to maintain their orbits, would be thrown off course. GPS systems, telecommunications, and weather forecasting equipment could be rendered useless or experience critical failures. After 5 seconds of chaos, gravity would suddenly snap back into place. But this return wouldn't be smooth, it would be catastrophic. Everything that was floating in the air would come crashing down at terrifying speeds. People who had been airborne could fall from dangerously high altitudes, leading to mass injuries and fatalities. Buildings that had partially collapsed might be further damaged as debris suddenly regains weight and crashes into structures. Airplanes would plummet toward the ground, making aviation disasters unavoidable. The oceans would unleash violent waves as they attempt to settle back into place, causing widespread coastal destruction. Infrastructure would be left in ruins, power grids might fail, and a global emergency would be declared. This hypothetical scenario serves as a stark reminder of just how vital gravity is to our daily existence. It's a force we take for granted, yet without it, even for a brief moment, life as we know it would be thrown into complete disarray. From personal safety to the very movement of celestial bodies, gravity is the unseen thread holding everything together. While we'll never experience such an event in reality, thankfully, it's fascinating to consider just how fragile our world can be. If anything, this thought experiment highlights the intricate balance of the universe and our dependence on forces far beyond our control. So, the next time you drop something or feel your feet firmly on the ground, take a moment to appreciate the silent force that makes life possible. And remember, if gravity ever does disappear, hold on tight, because the ride would be one for the ages.